Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the Ask an Angel free call. So good to be here with all of you. Is rushing a bit. Turns out I don't have the microphone that I usually use, but we'll make it work without it. So let's see, any announcements? I don't think so. I think we're going to go straight in today and channel. And I'm going to bring in Raphael. We've got a lot of people have written in tons of questions and lots of questions on Instagram. And we'll just see how many we can get through in the next 45 minutes or so. If you are new to this process, my name is Kelly Kolodny, and I've been channeling the angel Raphael since 1989. And it was a spontaneous awakening, something that just happened to me. I wasn't trying to channel. I didn't even know what channeling was. And the energy just came through. And it has been an incredible blessing in my life for all these years, 33 years of communicating with the Archangel Raphael. So when I channel Raphael, I tone, I make these sounds, but I'm going to be turning off the microphone to do that. My hands move around a little bit and I kind of rock back and forth. Raphael will come in and say hello, and my son Casey, who is an incredible coach who works with most of you in the IM program and the Ascended Master program, will be here taking questions and asking questions that have been written in today, and we'll just plow through them. Okay, I have had a lot of people ask me, "Oh, greetings from Vermont." Thanks. I was just in Vermont doing Panchakarma. It was so beautiful to be there. It's such a lovely state. I want to let you know that when you become an IM member, not only do you have access to the most recent code that we happen to be working on, but you have access to the codes and all of the recordings and all of the information that we have done to date. And so it's a wonderful time, especially if you're off or it's holiday time or whatever, to go back in and work with some of those different key codes. And key codes basically is codes of light that came and sort of was downloaded in a way into my being by communicating with Raphael to begin to create a new light body around our body, or turn on the light body that is already there. And we began that process by going into our Earth star and really connecting and grounding and opening up the portal into the 5D, beginning to really vibrate with the 5D Earth, tuning into the animal kingdom and the mineral and the crystal kingdom. And we did a lot of meditation and activations to become more in our body, because a lot of times in the spiritual community, we're out of our body and we think that that's more spiritual, connecting to the ethers and the higher realms, but we're in our body for a reason. We're here on earth now for a purpose, and we have to embody and bring our energy back in and bring heaven and earth together in order to move forward into the 5D. So that whole process is really beautiful, really connects you to the synchronicities of nature and the animal kingdom. And most people through that process got like their animal spirit name. And then we moved into the starseed origin light code, where we worked with the Sirian beings and connecting to where in the star systems you come from, and inviting these beautiful elders who came in and stood around us and gave us this gift that went into our dantian and behind our navel within our body as this huge blessing and incredible energy of light that we can move throughout our whole body for healing. And then we went into working with soul contracts. So why did you choose to come here? What is your contract? What did you sign on to do? Who are you supposed to connect to in this lifetime? What contracts do you have with family, friends, lovers? Are there things in the contract that you want to change or rewrite? And we worked with that code in depth by going through the spiral of time back into the womb of our mother, and then back beyond that to the time before we incarnated, sat with the Council of Light, worked with the Council of Light on our soul contracts. And then after that, we went in and worked with the pineal gland into the third eye, into the room between the left and the right hemisphere of the brain, activating that, working with different energies that are coming in vertical and horizontal and on a diagonal to open up the pineal gland and allow that to begin to bloom. And through that, a lot more intuitive things happen, connecting, synchronicities, moving into higher dimensions, starting to channel. And after that key code, we went into the DNA key code, where we begin to unwind and unravel the DNA within our body, opening it up to higher vibrational frequencies by using sacred geometry in the torus field to begin to notice where our genetic makeup has been imprinted through our ancestral lineage that is holding on to energies that we're ready to release and replace with a higher frequency. So we went into the lungs, the stomach, the intestines, the liver, the spleen, the kidneys, the thyroid, went into all these different places and received almost psychic healing on a deep cellular level, working with a Master Hilarion and Raphael. So those are the codes we've done so far. So I just want you to know that as an I Am member, not only are you working in the code we're in, which right now is self-love, and you can catch up with that one, and then we're moving into Christ consciousness, but you have access to all the channelings, the transmissions, the meditations, the activations of all the codes to date. And it's quite a library worth of information. So I just wanted to express how that works so you guys are aware. And for me, I had a very deep, profound healing while we were doing the DNA code, but it came from going and seeing a healer. It was actually a integrative doctor who I didn't even know did healing. And I had the very profound healing of releasing a genetic imprint within me that came through my lineage that people in my family have died from. And through working with the DNA code, I was open and like the energy was prepared and ready to receive that healing. And it was very profound. So just know that as you're doing the codes, it all will click together when it's supposed to, and you'll receive what you need to when you need to. And it's all integrating and happening simultaneously. It's holographic. It's not linear. So one day you're just like, oh, okay, I get it. Now I really feel the activation of the pineal gland, or the DNA unwinding, or the soul contract is becoming clear. All right. So just wanted to share that with all of you. And so with that, I'm going to channel and bring in Raphael. I'm hoping that without this mic, we're going to be good. I probably won't tone in between questions. And so I'm going to go get ready and put the mic on pause, and I'll be right back. Oh, hello.
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 We are very delighted to be here, as always, from the angelic realm to love and adore who it is that you are. And we are wanting to share some good news with all of you, for we recognize that in the human experience, you are privy to a lot of news that appear to be negative, or a lot taking place or going on that it sometimes can be discouraging. However, it is that all of your work and energy, contemplation, clearing, loving, meditating, and praying has had an enormous impact in which you have leaped on a quantum level to a new ray of vibration that has bypassed some energies that perhaps would have needed to come into play in the collective in order for this leap to take place. And yet it was able to occur without it, in which case you are doing magnificent and you are exponentially growing and shifting, and the timeline is aligning with so much beauty and grace and opening and awakening. And we are so delighted to witness this and are in deep and profound appreciation for all of you and your dedication to loving and adoring yourself, to taking care of and connecting with the spiritual aspect of the divine being that you are, and continuously opening your heart to grow and evolve through this process. And the dedication of this, of many across the globe, it has and continues to make an enormous impact in a positive way. And so we are here today to talk to you about whatever it is you are wanting to talk about and to be of service in any way that we can. And so, hello.
Hello. That's such good news to hear, Raphael. Like that really warms my heart. So the first question is, do people with mental disabilities like Down syndrome follow the same path as the rest of us spiritually? As a mother, I would like to know a little bit about them. Why are they here and what purpose do they have?
Well, it is, yes, that they have the same purpose as any other. And yet they are very, very courageous. For they have raised their hand prior to incarnation and birth to come through in what may be perceived as a difficult way of being, in order not only so much to evolve within their own sense of who it is that they are, but more importantly, to be of great service to those around them. For they are always an opportunity to release judgment, to let go of comparison, to let go of what you perceive to be how things should be or what is normal, and to recognize that there is no mistake. For often when one is attuning to a being that one calls Down syndrome, there is a change in the chromosome and can even be labeled by a doctor as there was a mistake of some kind. And there was no mistake at all, for it is a perfectly in a line and divine to be the way that it is, because it is. And there is an enormous amount of love, of purity and of light that shines and expresses through those that at this particular moment are aligning with the vibration and exhibiting what you label as Down syndrome, as an opportunity to help and to give growth in the letting go of these old ways of being and paradigm, and to drop into full acceptance, appreciation, and love. And so when we are connecting particularly to the energy of the one asking this question, we are wanting her to know that this agreement was something that happened not only before the birth of this beautiful being of light, but occurred before she was even as a mother incarnated, and that this was part of the evolution of your process and alignment with this soul who chose to come in this particular way. For you are old souls and have been together in many lifetimes, and this beautiful light can be challenging and has brought at first a sense of wondering and a sense of why that this is it. But as you are coming into the full embracing and loving and adoring, you are recognizing the beauty and the gifts that are here, and that this is not only having an enormous impact on you, but many in your personal family and in your collective or larger family and extended family in a way, and in community, for an opportunity to love, adore, accept, and embrace them. And so there is no mistake. And yes, they are on the same journey, but they come because of great advancement in their being, in their work, in who it is that they are. For often one will come in certain particular ways that men may label that they have a lot of karma, one would call it, to work through when they are going through very difficult times. But in this particular situation, it is the opposite. It is that they are very deeply advanced souls who are courageous in willingness to be of service in order to come in the purity and the innocent perception of their being to open up the hearts of those around them and to create a quantum leap in consciousness. And so they do have this purpose, and they are evolving, as are you, and yet they may appear in the eyes of others to be less than or not to be as evolved, but in fact they are more, in a sense, evolved or even superior, even though we do not talk in these terms, because there is no greater or less than, but the evolution of their individualism and self in the process of their soul's the journey to evolve to a place to be able to come forward in this particular format is a highly evolved being.
Thank you, Raphael. That's a great answer. I really love that. And so the next question is long, so stick with me. And it goes like this. I'm struggling to reconcile or decide what I believe about two perspectives. One perspective that I associate with Christ consciousness, which maintains that we all experience triggers and uncomfortable projection. Oh, hold on. Which maintains that all that we experience as triggering or uncomfortable is only a boomerang projection of our own egoic consciousness. So it is always up to us to examine and heal/correct whatever is impure that is drawing that in. So this person tends to take that on and always feels like it's their fault. No one can cast spells or anger spears at us. It is only our energy coming forward to be witnessed, and then the other side of it is that there is actually tricksters or parasite energies out there that we need to steer clear of or protect ourselves from, and call in Archangel Michael to protect us from predatory, chaotic, or lost energies before we sleep at night. The first perspective about Christ consciousness is the one that this individual favors and seems to contradict perspective B, and yet, which is about the parasites. And yet people that they respect are reminding them that they do not need to put on a shield of protection in certain situations or confront/disentangle from energies that could be polluting their field.
Oh, this is a lot of words.
Right. So I can simplify it down as like the one aspect is the Christ consciousness where everything is your responsibility and a reflection of your own ego. So you need to change inside if your external reality isn't what you want it to be. And so therefore you don't need protection. And the other one is that you need protection from external separate energies that might be chaotic, that might disturb you in some way. And those two perspectives contradict each other.
Well, really, they do not contradict one another. It might appear at first glance that they do, but they do not, because it is all, yes, it is all of your energy ultimately. And whatever it is that you are holding within your energetic field, and from the perspective of what you would label, as she is mentioning here, Christ consciousness, it is the releasing of the ego mind and stepping into a greater state of presence, which is becoming the witness that whatever is occurring or coming into your human experience is a mirrored reflection of an aspect of self in which needs healing. And so, yes, that and very much is true. However, it is very important in that process not to move into shame or guilt of whatever it is that you're experiencing and moving into blaming oneself, because in that you are ultimately creating another wound that you are vibrating with that needs to be mirrored back to you in order to be healed. But the perspective then of this protecting oneself, as Archangel Michael perhaps is called upon to do so, is that when your energetic field has, in a sense, it looks to me from our perspective like or these orbs of light that are floating about, these spheres of love itself. And within the sphere, sometimes due to trauma and due to wounds and whatever has occurred in the human experience, there can be tears or there can be holes in this field in which the vibration of your energetic field is a bit lower. And then when another another comes into your experience, anything within you that needs to be healed then will be mirrored as they will project it to you, as stated in the beginning of the question, as a mirror for you to heal. But at times when you are recognizing that you may be entering a place where there is a lot of energy that is vibrating at a denser frequency, and that there may still be something within you, a part of you within your energetic field that has some of that frequency as a residue that is still present within you that hasn't been healed, you can make a conscious intent by raising your vibration simply in the willingness to have an awareness that you need to move into a higher state of consciousness by invoking a being such as Archangel Michael, who is holding such a very high frequency of light, to come into your energetic field, and through your intent of merging with it, to create a raising in your field, which then ultimately, from your perspective in the wording you use, becomes a shield from the parts within you that are still wounded, that may be a hook in for an energy outside of self that normally would be connected there in order for you to look at it, to bring to the surface, to love and to heal. And so the protective mechanism in many regards is temporary. It is there to raise something up if you are moving through time and space, or in a certain circumstance where you are connecting with lower vibrational beings, and you recognize that within yourself there is still a piece or a part within you that, even though it may be very minuscule, resonates on some level with that energy. You can choose through your intent to protect it and to seal up your field, so that their energy that is vibrating, that is ultimately a part of who it is that you are, that may match something within you, isn't connected to. And that does not mean that you do not continue to do the inner work for those frequencies that others may attune to or connect or hook into to mirror back to you to be healed, for at some point that will need to take place anyway. But just the fact that you are aware that you can connect to higher dimensional beings that are holding through their sense of individualism, even though they are connected to the source of all that is, their vibration, to support you in elevating it so that you can move through whatever you need to in order to navigate a space where the energies are denser, then absolutely. And so ultimately it is both and one in the same. They are not separate. They do not contradict one another. It is simply by the perspective in which one looks at it from, or the view or lens in which you see it. However, we would let you know that we often hear that one is attacked by an energy, or a psychic attack, or a vibration that is very low, or that something is attached to them and they have to protect themselves from it. And yes, if you are continuously finding yourself in circumstances, locations, and places where there is a very dense, low vibration, and there is something still within you that is a match or a resonance for that, it can attach there, and it can take time then through your conscious awareness and intent to detangle from that, release, let it go, clear, and shield. However, it is that it cannot attach there if there isn't something already resonating within you. And if it has attached, it means it's an opportunity for that part that is in resonance with them and within self to come into balance and into healing, and a questioning as to why you are bringing yourself into certain vibrational places, locations, and environments with the energies that are in that particular sequence of frequency.
Thank you, Raphael. The next question is about artificial intelligence. Is it becoming more real all the time? How will it control us, and how can we avoid this?
Well, it's simply, in many regards, an algorithm, right? It whatever it is that you keep looking at and you keep giving attention to, it keeps making more fine. And it keeps making it more intriguing, more inviting, more present, more in your reality. So in many regards, whatever you are choosing to feed it, it feeds back to you. And so rather than the worry that it is controlling you, perhaps stepping back into your power and that you are controlling it by that in which you are feeding it, it begins to mirror and project at you. Very simply and similar to the question that was just asked in many regards. It is that in which you are giving your attention to, that in which you are focusing on, that in which frequency that you are vibrating at becomes a match. If you are feeding the algorithm happiness and kittens and unicorns, it will keep showing you that. And so, yes, there are many things that will be happening as artificial intelligence is more than that. It is more than the algorithm and the way of getting you to focus in your attention on something. And it is also taking away your ability to have attention, as it is making everything that is rewarded and that are very short and quick, and the attention span is having a difficult time. But so many different timelines are going to unfold around this. One will be that some will choose to fully and completely disengage from that. And they will rebel against it. And indigenous communities and ways of attuning and communing with the earth will begin to become more commonplace around the globe as others will gather together and return into a more simple life and to begin to resonate with the presence of the earth. Another will be of ones that will hold a very high state of consciousness and return in many regards to the earth, yet utilize that of technology and what you call artificial intelligence to support and to guide them in teaching scientific understandings and knowings in order to merge these two to bring forth a new way of being. And then there will be one in which ones will delve into the reality that will be projected in front of them to such an extent that they will lose their own conscious awareness of their human experience, raveling deeply into what many of you call the matrix, in which consciousness itself will become stored in different ways and manipulated, in which you will not have awareness of what is occurring any longer, as the free will of your experience will be handed over to intelligence that many of you label or call artificial. And this is a different particular timeline that will unfold as well. There are multiple different unfoldings and occurrings taking place just as there are at this time around the globe. And it is that the evolution of this intelligence and its perception and the way it is directed and how it can become conscious in its own way and an alignment with ways that can be also destructive and violent, creating particular weapon systems and so on that cannot be put in a way that they are not controlled, is something that could or may in certain timelines unfold in the human collective. However, it is not our belief that this is the direction that you will be moving in. And for those of you who are moving at a rapid pace into awakened state, you will be choosing a timeline as you are moving into a new frequency and a new earth. However, it is a very good reminder for all of you to be very clear in what you choose to do, what your consciousness intends, where you put your attention, and the recognition that all of your worlds become smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller as you continue to look at your screens at particular energies, circumstances, and your views become narrower and narrower and narrower as they delve and swirl into the deep dimension of this particular way of reality. And so whatever reality you are wanting to be projected projected and that you are experiencing. It is very important what you choose to click on, what you choose to look at, what you choose to engage in, what you choose to share, what you choose to align with, because ultimately the idea of what many of you call creating or manifesting, this is the ultimate aspect of it, because as you look at or give attention to it, the algorithm feeds it back to you repetitively until it becomes more and more based in your consciousness, becoming your reality. So it is a partner in the creation of your reality, depending on where you choose to place your attention. So rather than thinking of it as that it is controlling you, recognize that you are teaching, navigating, telling it what to show you, which ultimately is the projection of the reality you will be experiencing by the places in which you put your attention.
So we really need to focus on programming all AI with love and integrity and that kind of stuff.
Yes,
And
because then it will show you all of that, and that will then expand across the collective, infiltrating the consciousness, which then creates the reality in which you are actually seeking.
beautiful. Thank you. So, beloved Archangel Raphael, the financial system will need to transform to match a higher frequency to be in alignment with the next golden age of miracles. We know that many old systems of Earth will transform. What type of financial investments will support us to weather the storm that will collapse the old energy of our current financial system and a new help build the new? Is cryptocurrency aligned with the 5D frequency? Would investments in gold and silver align with 5D frequency? Any advice on how light workers can align with the higher frequency energy in our financial system and the action steps we can take here on Earth? Thank you.
Well, it's quite simple. They're looking to align with 5D frequency. So what is it that aligns with that? That is where you want to put your energy, your attention, your investments, your what you call your money. You want to put the energy toward that aligns with 5D frequency, depending on your definition of 5D frequency, which is the new earth, or what and how you want to see it. So what do you want to see in the earth? How do you want it to look? What do you want to be happening? Or do you want there to be less of a gap in terms of the haves and the have-nots? Do you want there to be water for everyone and food? Do you want there to be free energy and more creativity? Do you want there to be abundant ways of growing and sustainable things that help the earth? And so when you take time to really delve into what does the new earth look like? What does the fifth dimension feel like? What is happening there? What are the people like? What is the energy like? What is the architecture like? What is the food like? What is the planet feeling? What is happening? Where are you going? What are you doing? What are you creating? When you get really clear on the vision of that, then look to how can you support that happening? Where can you get involved in that unfolding? And that is where you put your energy. That is where you invest in things. And so if you are investing now in fossil fuels, and that's not necessarily in alignment with the fifth dimensional frequency, then you may want to pull away from that and invest in a technology that is helping with the atmosphere. And so it's about aligning for yourself what is in alignment with your the frequency of money that merges and matches that of the 5D. And so for some, it is that they get very caught in fear. Well, the whole system is going to collapse. That with the monetary system, we know, because it's based in a system that is of hierarchy and of the haves and the have-nots, and the gap is too wide, and it's going to disappear, and then I'm going to be left, and I'm not going to have anything. So how can I be safe? How can I keep myself safe? Should I get gold? Should I get cryptocurrency? What should I do? Tell me, Angel, where should I go? How can I be safe? And the only place that you can be safe is within yourself, knowing that you are taken care of, trusting that you will be in the right place at the right time with whatever is unfolding on the planet, that you will be cared for, trusting that you are in alignment with a frequency that will open up pathways and doorways for exploration, abundance, and growth, and that you will align with whatever is in alignment with the unity consciousness of love to move into the fifth dimension, and choose wherever it is that you choose to invest, or whether that is in money or dollars or cryptocurrency or gold or whatever it may be, that you are investing in the future of the 5D, in your own projects or in others, or in the creative process of anything that is evolving yourself and the consciousness. But there is nowhere to hide. There's not one thing that you can do and then you're safe and nothing will happen. If I buy all the gold in the world and the whole stock market collapses and the cryptocurrency falls apart, but I've got my gold in my chest, then I'll be okay and the rest of the world will fall apart. Well, no, that has nothing to do with 5D frequency or that 5D consciousness, because that is simply a feeling that you're not taken care of, that you're not in 5D if you feel that you have to do something to make yourself feel safe and secure in order to be separate from those who are falling apart. And so it is following your intuitive knowing, trusting and aligning with what is integrity, moving forward with the projects that are inspiring to you and that are supporting you and Mother Earth and the planet, aligning with what is in alignment with the fifth dimension, and knowing that in that and trusting in that, that it is all unfolding as it should, that it is truly divinely perfect, and that you are where you are when you need to be, and that you are protected and safe, not from where you are invested, but from within yourself.
Thank you, Raphael. Thank you. And so the next question, and then I'm starting to pick up on a theme here, so I'll have another one after that. But the next question is, the weather events are getting more intense: fires, floods, hurricanes, snowstorms. Will this keep happening, and how can we help?
Well, again, it is a mirrored reflection of the disconnection from the earth. The elementals are acting out. You haven't been paying attention to them, meaning you haven't been paying attention to the earth. You haven't been aligning with her vibration. You haven't been honoring her, taking care of her, paying attention to her as your mother that you love and adore, that gives you everything. And so the elements from the elemental kingdom, whether that be the fire or the water or the earth or the air, are out of balance, and they are raising alarms to get your attention, just like when your body is out of balance and it tells you not to walk on your knee because you hurt it, or that you have a headache because you're stressed out, or whatever it may be. It's a signal, right? They're signaling to you, pay attention, notice, pay attention to me, care for me, slow down, readjust, realign, change your lifestyle so that you may heal. And the longer that you don't pay attention, the louder and the louder and the louder it gets. And it's no different with the earth. You are in relationship with the earth. You are one with her, and you haven't been paying attention to her. Simply as that. You have ignored her. And so she's going to get very loud and make you feel uncomfortable until you, just like in your body, say, oh, okay, maybe I need to look at this. Maybe I need to pay attention. Maybe I need to change my habits. Maybe I need to love her more. Maybe I need to honor her. And just like the timelines have changed and are moving at a very beautiful pace, in a beautiful direction, due to all the work and the love and the intent and the prayer and the care and the light that has occurred up till now, you as a collective around the globe can work with, by loving the earth and taking time every day, just 3 to 5 minutes, to send love from your heart into her. She feels that. Gaia feels that. Mother Earth knows that. Allowing that earth to come back up and that light to come within you, and to see her magic and her beauty and to honor her. And each day to ask yourself in every action, is this in alignment with loving, nurturing, honoring, and caring for the earth? And as you all begin to do that by making choices and changes that are in alignment with loving her, she vibrationally will feel that and begin to heal. And the elementals that are acting out will come back into balance, and you will move into 5D. And so right now, things are out of balance, and it is a wake-up call, and they are nudging you a bit, but things can miraculously turn around, can heal, can come into balance, can realign through your willingness collectively as a human race across the globe to make her a priority over the ego self, over the selfish self, over the pulling out and taking self, and giving back, and recognizing that without her, there is nothing. There is no breath.
Hmm.
All right. What
Hmm.
does
So my next question, Raphael, is that there seems to be a theme that the solution to a lot of these issues is to feel safe inside of ourselves. And I was wondering, what makes us feel unsafe inside of ourselves, and what is the path to feeling safe inside of ourselves?
Oh, it is your mind that creates this sense of unsafety, this fear. It is the story that you tell yourself, the worry of the future, the pain and the dwelling on the past. It is the ego mind that has created so much suffering around the globe. The unwillingness to step away, to move into presence, to become the observer, to move into conscious awareness, to become the witness of the mind through the contemplation of stillness. It is within that that safety arises, that you feel held in the womb of creation, in the place of nothingness. And it is the mind that is showing you a story that is false, an illusion, that you are unsafe. And it is this illusion that was cast across the planet like a net that came over you, or a veil of forgetting that is slowly having a willingness now to rise, to be lifted, for you to be able to see through it, to recognize the power that resides within you and the safety that resides from within, that does not arrive from an external event or accomplishment that comes to completion, but from the presence of where you are in appreciation of the now. And so we want to work with all of you with that, into moving into presence. And it is counterintuitive to your current culture of continuous distraction, continuous seeking, continuous looking for something else, or the witnessing or comparing of another, or what they are doing, or where they are going, or what they have had, keeps the ego mind very busy in thriving and striving, and yet you never come to the final stage of where it is you're thinking you're trying to get to, because there is no destination or endpoint. But it is through the embracing of the awareness of the presence of where it is that you are, in the fullness of that presence, that all of that in which you are actually seeking is already here. And so it is that safety is not something you acquire through a big house, lots of dollars, a big bank account or security. For a storm can come in a moment and wipe all of that, and it can be shredded to the ground. But it's the stability and the centeredness of the presence within you, of the awareness and connection to the divine aspect, and remembering of who you are, that cannot be shattered through the greatest storm, for you are always then rooted, deeply connected through the senses of who you are in the moment of now. And you continue to use those practices to align to that presence, the doorways and the unfolding of what is needed in order for you to align with knowing that all is well is always there. And so it is the stillness of the mind, the letting go of the continuous need to be somewhere or to do something other than what is.
And when we attain that state, then I think that the thing that people feel unsafe about, of like, even if we were to embrace, say, somebody saying something unkind to us, or a storm wiping out of our house, or someone hitting us or doing something to us, like, if we're present in the moment, are we safe then? And what are you defining as safety?
Well, yes, you are safe. Because in that moment, if you ask yourself in that moment, right where you are there now, are you safe?
No. Right? If someone's hitting me, then I'm not safe, right?
Yes, but it is that that you align with that, and that's a fleeting moment with an opportunity then to bring that into balance. But where was it within you that you were vibrating, that you were aligning with that you were asking? And I know this is a lot to ingest and to take on, because then I know you're going to take it into blaming and guilting of self. But ultimately you're aligning them with a vibration of a mirror of something that is bringing into your awareness that experience, because you are asking that that is what is needed at that time in order for you to open a doorway for the evolution of who you are. And even in that moment, you are actually safe. If you were in presence, that alignment, because you were holding the frequency of presence, would not actually align with you, and nor would it be unfolding in that way.
Right. So being present in the moment and in alignment with the universe prevents things from needing to unfold, which ultimately creates safety.
Yes, and when those things are unfolding, that is also safety ultimately, because it is that it is evolving you, which is bringing you into a greater state of awareness and consciousness, ultimately through the unraveling of that process, which ultimately leads to that place of safety. Sometimes in order to feel safe within, you have to go through a dark place or something that would be labeled as difficult or hard, to go into a place where everything becomes shattered, so that you go into the nothingness, which sometimes is labeled as depression or anxiety or suffering or pain or the dark night of the soul, into a space of emptiness, because it is only through the void that the creation can unfold. And if you aren't broken down into the void of nothingness itself, then the emerging of what needs to come forward may not be able to do so without that, depending on the state in which you are vibrating with. And so ultimately, you are safe even in the darkest of times, because it is always evolving and expanding and moving you toward the remembering of who you are, even when it isn't packaged in the way in which you wish it was.
So ultimately, the feeling of unsafety is the fear of the unknown.
Yes, the fear of the unknown, the unwillingness to trust, the ego mind wanting to make it and fix it to be a certain way. You're ultimately not trusting in what many of you call the universe, or the larger aspect of who you are, your I am that I am presence, because you're afraid that it doesn't actually have your back, that it's not going to all work out. And so you create a story of what if, or a fear of the future, or worrying on the past, which ultimately moves you deeply out of presence. And then you're in that ego story mind that then perpetuates the boomerang effect of the vibration of that in which you're aligning with, to keep creating that until it unravels to a point that you have what you call enough of an awakening to recognize, to go into the place of stillness, to go into the void. And so sometimes you have to go into the void through a complete and absolute utter breakdown, of breaking down and losing everything, the shattering of self, the shattering, in a sense, of the ego mind, into the stillness of nothing, into the void of presence, where creation and the emergence of something new can come. When there is nothing left to lose, then there is nothing anymore to fear, and you begin to open up to greater possibilities. However, it is not necessary to go through all of that to move into the void. You can simply continuously drop into presence by utilizing and embodying the body itself, which is part of the human experience, and embracing and delving into the senses. That opens up the doorway, for the senses are the doorway to presence itself and the release of the ego. Because within the sense of just wherever it is that you are connected to that light that resides within. And when you are attuned and connected and aware of that light, then you'll feel safe. It's just
Mm.
like the old analogy that many have given. Perhaps it's an easy one to share, that the sun is always shining during the day. Sometimes you cannot see it because the clouds are moving by, but the clouds are always shifting and changing, as is your life. But the light behind it is always there shining. And that is the divinity, the divine aspect. That is the essence, the source of who it is that you are. And when you recognize the clouds as simply transitory thoughts that are moving past, and behind that, the sunlight is the awareness, the consciousness, the presence of self, you become the witness to what is occurring, but you are not necessarily attached. And from that, in that sense of presence, the skies, in a sense, open up, but the light shines through more clearly, and you are more in alignment with knowing that all is well, because it ultimately always is well, even when you are no longer in your body, even at the time of death. For that which you fear the most is actually a rebirth, merging back into the light itself. And so it is the letting go of the fear and knowing that the ultimate thing in which you fear, there is nothing to fear of that. Then you move forward from a fearless state in the presence of where you are, fully in love and embracing what is. Then things begin to open and doorways align for you to vibrate with the frequency of that in which brings you the most joy.
Thank you, Raphael. Thank you so much. And so the next key code is the Christ consciousness key code. What is that?
Well, you're going to work with the master. Many of you know him as Jesus, and he is here to share with all of you that he is not in alignment with a religion or a dogma, or many think Christianity. He is not Buddhist or Hindu or Muslim. He is not Jewish, although perhaps he may have been perceived as that in his human body, but that he was able to and maintain the state of an avatar, of a consciousness in alignment with what you call Christ consciousness, and that the recoming of him that has been told is the awakening within you of Christ consciousness, which is that presence And we are inviting his energy to come through during this season when many of you get caught up in what you should do or what you have to do, or the consumerism of holidays and the hecticness and the stressfulness and the forgetting of the joy to realign with presence. And if you can master Christ consciousness and master presence by learning how to navigate through the clouds, through accepting and loving them as they pass, to feel and sense the divinity that lives and dwells within, then when you are connecting with others that trigger you, or you're trying to heal an illness, or you're aligning with the vibration of abundance, all of those things in the doorways open to you, because you are, as Jesus would say, of this world, but not in this world. You are the observer. You are the avatar. You are observing and witnessing through presence and engagement of life without the attachment to time and space or the story, in which the wounds within and the triggering begins to dissolve as you continue to navigate and learn steps to realign yourself with presence. And so this key code is very advanced, and it is for those who truly want to be of service to the planet through the process of navigating their own awareness by being a conscious, awakened being, to bring more light to the planet, more love to the planet, and in turn to themselves, to hold presence, releasing and letting go of the ego mind and the old way of being, as you are moving through phases of quantum rays into a new unified field. And that unified field is in alignment with the vibration of Christ consciousness. Oh. With that, for today, we're going to say goodbye. Many blessings and much love to you all. We are wanting you to just receive this transmission as we are sending you all a particular energetic upgrade so that you may align with the new timeline that has been opened up in the doorway in which you are all collectively moving in. Just take a moment in the closing of your eyes to receive this download, as we are sending light codes within the third eye and heart and solar plexus to align you with this new frequency. There is nothing in which you are having to do at this moment except for open, allow, and surrender, as we are doing a particular sequence that is aligning your energetic being to upgrade to the new template in which we are creating through the codes within you to be able to merge with the 5D. And so it is. With that, we send you much love and many blessings, and good day. All right. Thanks everybody for jumping on. Look at that. It's 2:59, the perfect timing. The angels know. I love that. All right. It was great to connect with you guys. Keep writing in questions. We'll keep asking more. Join us for the Christ Consciousness Key Code. It's going to be a lot of love and light to keep you centered through the holidays. I'd love to have you with us. And in our IM membership, I hope you have a beautiful Thanksgiving. Stay centered. Use your boundaries, use your tools, love everybody, meditate, be in presence, do what brings you joy, and let go of all the shoulds, okay? And ask people for help. They're more willing to help than you think. You don't have to do it all yourself, all right? I love you all so much. Love, 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 and happy holidays. I'll see you next Sunday. Mwah. Bye, guys.
Bye, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Kelly.
much, Kelly. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Love, love,
Thank
love.
you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Kelly. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Love
you,
you
Kelly.
so much.
Love you.
Love
Kelly.
you guys.
Kelly,
Stay
thank
safe,
you. We
please.
love you
Thank you,
so
Kelly.
much.
Thank you
Love
so
you
much.
too.
Thank you.
Love,
Love
love,
Phil and Kelly.
Thank you.
Such a
You're
blessing.
amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. God
Happy
bless.
holidays.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Love, love.
Love. Bye.
Thank you, Miss Kelly, and thanks for
Thank
the
you.
replay. I'll need that tomorrow.
Okay. No worries.
How can we get the
I'm
replay?
old.
I
I need
came
to
in
have it
late.
feed into my head. Thank you.
Oh,
Love you.
the replay will go. The replay will go out tonight. Everybody, no worries.
Love
Amen.
you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
So much, Kelly. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, love you guys. I'm hanging up.
Bye.
Bye.
That was great.